Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm talking about self-concept. Self-concept, I guess it's not just for relationships. I mean, self-concept should not be, you should not look at your self-concept in order to manifest a relationship. When you look at changing your self-concept, improving your self-worth and empowering yourself, it should be for that very reason, to empower yourself and to be the best version of you that you can be, knowing that everything else falls into place after that. You'll still have your ups and downs, but you will be much stronger, relationships will be stronger and easier to come by and all of that stuff. But don't look at doing it. So don't say you've been trying to, I'm not saying don't all the time, but let's just say you've been trying to manifest a specific person and you've had no luck, you've really seen nothing, and you've heard a lot about self-concept. So you think, okay, I will work on my self-concept in order to manifest this relationship. It's not the thing to do, because you're doing it for the wrong reason. You're doing it with an end goal of manifesting that person. What you need to do is look at it. The end goal is you feeling better, you feeling free, you knowing that you can have whatever you want in your life, and relationships will come easier to you, will come easy to you, because you feel so good about yourself that if something doesn't seem right for you, just move on to the next. And you know that there are so many people out there for you. You're not limited to that one person that you feel that strongly about. There'll be other people out there. You open up to all of that. So you want to be like that. So you do it from a point of wanting to feel free. Once you feel free, all of that other stuff, if you want that person in your life, then that person will appear in your life. But you don't do it with that end goal in mind. You do it with you, the end goal in mind is of you feeling freer and you being in control of yourself, you managing your feelings, not your feelings managing you, all of that stuff. That's the reason to improve your self-concept. And first of all, it's key to think, what is my self-concept? What do I think about myself? Get it written down on paper. What do I think about myself? What don't I like about myself? What do I like about myself? What would I really like to improve? And when I say, like with me, improvement was I did not want to be reactive anymore. I really didn't, because it was having a negative impact on me and on people around me. Not huge, but enough that it wasn't constant, and it sounds really awful, but when it happened, it often had a negative impact on my life, and I didn't want that anymore, so I wanted to change that. So that was what I was really firm on. I do want to change that, because I don't like that about me, and I don't like the impact it has on other people, so I want to sort that out. So there was that. Everything else, I thought that my impulsiveness was a bad thing, but then I thought about that and I thought, why is that a bad thing? Because I've been impulsive in this, in that, and I've got this, and this. Impulsive for me is just taking a leap of faith, really, taking that chance. And so I thought, no, actually, that's a good thing. I like that about me. Occasionally I might be impulsive and the wrong thing might happen or something undesirable, but in the majority of cases, good things would happen from that. So I scrapped the idea of changing that. Bear in mind, at the time when I was looking at this, I wasn't feeling great about myself. I'd been through a period of time in my life where I just wasn't very happy, and I knew that I was basing my happiness on other things outside of me. I just knew that, and I knew that I wanted to change that. So I was very, very honest with myself, and I decided, do you know what, if I could change that reactive nature, if I could not have that anymore, everything would be easier, and that I would be happier for sure. And I did make a decision that I was going to stop placing my happiness outside of me. It was all going to be inside of me. So I kind of got excited about that, and I just decided that was my intention, basically, I guess. I want my self-worth to be high. At that time also, I was being super critical of my looks, the way that I looked, and everything about me I was picking on, and I was seeing things, seeing lines on my face that I thought, well, that wasn't there before, and then thinking I didn't look the same, thinking I was aging, I didn't like it, and all of that. So it was all culminating to me having not a great self-image, and to the point where one of my friends, Sam, said, you've got body dysmorphia. And it wasn't my body as such, it was just looking at my face. And I didn't have body dysmorphia. That is a step away from that. That is much more serious, and I didn't have that. But I did get that I was inflating things, and I was looking at things and making things more than they were. I got that. like, I can't believe I'm saying all this now. I don't really like, I've sort of, at one time I wouldn't have been comfortable talking about this sort of stuff online out there for the masses, but I think it's really important actually, because it will help you. And it does make me feel slightly uncomfortable talking about it, I must admit, but I'm going to do it anyway, because the fact is I don't feel like that anymore. And if I look at myself in pictures or family videos and stuff a few years ago, I actually feel that I look better now. And yes, I have a little bit of Botox here, but that's it. Okay, I don't do anything else at the moment. I'm not saying I won't in future, but I don't. And I do use face creams and machines and all of that. Yeah, I love my skincare, but I enjoy it. And when I used to use that stuff, when I started to use it, I was doing it in a mind to, I've got to get rid of this and I've got to get rid of that. Well, I don't do that anymore. I just do it because I enjoy it and it makes me feel good. And that is the only reason. And that is how much I have improved. So, one, I'm never critical of myself anymore. I don't look in the mirror and notice things, or if I do notice something, I give it no attention and I'm not bothered by it, because I think, I look all right, you know. I look okay for my age. I look good for my age. I do think that. Let's openly admit that. I do think that. So let's not be embarrassed of saying that. You know, years ago, I would never have said that. But okay, we're being honest here. I do feel that. And I do feel, and when we went away, Jeremy and I, for my birthday, he was looking at some old photographs and I was having a treatment at the time, and he said he was just sat there looking through old photos. And in the evening he said, oh my God, he said, I found this photograph of you when you were, I think I was 42 at the time when we were away, we were in San Francisco. He said, just really nice photo. He said, but you actually look younger now. And he said, look, and I was looking at it and I said, yeah, I think I do. I said, I think a lot to do with it was my hairstyle and stuff like that. But yes, I did feel overall, I look better now than I did then. And he said, that's weird, like how the hell? And I said, well, I think it's because inside I tell myself that I'm 35, and I really feel that I'm 35. I'm going off the point a bit here, but I'm just talking about the fact is I feel that I can say that I look good. I can be comfortable saying that. I do, like I said, I do find it slightly difficult saying that on a platform like this, but at the moment I'm just talking to my camera. So, you know, but it's not just about my looks, obviously it's not. It was a combination of things, and it was feeling good about myself inside that allowed me to feel better about everything else. And I must say it was a phase, and I decided that I was not happy at this point, and I did not want to carry on like that. I just felt a bit rubbish majority of the time, and I just did. I hit that point in my life where I don't know, and I just thought, I'm not having this anymore. I did think that actually. I was empowered by, I am not having this. I'm not going to feel like this anymore. This is ridiculous. This is not me, and I'm done with it. So that's how I probably started off with it. I'm done with it, and I'm going to improve this. I want to feel free. I sort of listed all of the things I wanted to feel free. I didn't want to feel attached to any outcome, because I was feeling like at the time that I couldn't make stuff happen. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be reaching for anything. I wanted to feel good the majority of the time. So I kind of listed all of this stuff to myself, and I thought, okay, this is what I'm working on. I'm going to read stuff that empowers me, only read stuff that empowers me, only look at stuff that empowers me. I'm going to stop picking on things about myself. I'm just going to stop noticing, because I hadn't sort of realised in the past that when I had stopped doing that things would improve and they wouldn't be there anymore. So I stopped doing all of that, and I started to see myself differently, and I started to feel differently. So I would use the odd affirmation, the empowering affirmation, like, this is all about me, it's not about anyone else. I want to feel good. And do you know, people say to me, oh, should I say want? Shouldn't I say I do feel good? And I said, you can say what you want, but I've always said I want to, and it's never hindered me. It's never held me back. It's just something, I think I found it easier to do that because it was a want and it was a desire, and I knew that I could manifest. And if I said I am, I would almost feel that edge of resistance because it wasn't how I was feeling in the moment. So I did use I want, and I still use I want now. Sometimes I use I am, but sometimes I use I want, and I don't care. I don't care because there are no rules with this. So you must know, guys, that there are no rules with this. I really hope I'm not sort of waffling off the point here. There are no rules with this stuff. It's all about you. It's your reality. It's not anybody else's reality. So you don't have to reach for anything. As soon as you start reaching for something, for a person in particular, you put them out of your reach and you make them somehow better than you. They become this mystical being that you just have to have in your life. And the manifesting then becomes completely habitual. And it's not really about them at the end of the day. It starts becoming about the manifesting of them, and you lose your power. So you have to know that this is all about you. It's all about your power and what you can do in your life. But once you get to the point where your self-esteem and your self-worth is good, and I would say mine is excellent now. I really would. I don't think there's any part that doubts myself, that feels that I can't do anything, that is critical of the way that I look. I do embrace everything about the way that I look. and my feeling state most of the time is good. I don't ever reach for anything. I am quite happy to say, if somebody doesn't want to be in my life, then I am happy to let them go. And I just think it's not the right time for them in my life at the moment. If they don't want to be here at the moment, there's a reason for that. Let them go. And I will just let them go, because I am not going to fight for anyone to be in my life. And I might say to myself, if the time's right in the future for them to come back, then that would be cool. But that's all that I do. I don't want to fight to keep anybody in my life, because if I do, then it's not going to be sustainable. If I'm fighting for it, I might get that relief when somebody comes back into my life and think, yay, I've done it. Awesome, I've done it. But if I've not changed anything within me, then it's not going to sustain. So I just don't want to reach for anything these days, and I don't, not even career-wise or anything like that. I don't want to reach for it. I will have an idea about where I want to take my business. This business now, this is the business, it is, let's be honest about it. And I look at where I want to go with this, and I will then put things in place, but I will never think, how can I then manifest lots of sales in this? I'll never do that. I just have the desire that I want this to be successful, and I just let the rest happen, and it does. And that used to happen with my retail business naturally, because I didn't know what I was doing at the time, but I would very much have that attitude then. And it was really successful, considering it was just me and I was only selling belts. It was really successful. It made me a really decent income. After 12 years, I was totally sick of it. I didn't want to do it anymore. But I did that really naturally, from never stressing of where the next order was going to come from. I just knew that it would come. I just kind of not expected it to come, as in a sort of negative expectation. I just felt that it would come. And they did. The orders just kept coming and coming, to the point where I was so ridiculously busy that I think that's what kind of drove me away from it in the end, because I was so busy. I didn't have any time to myself whatsoever, and I wasn't enjoying it. And I think I made myself really, really busy by just feeling the orders coming in all of the time. So anyway, I am digressing, aren't I, slightly? So self-concept is so important, because it will be like say, for every reason. For relationships, awesome, but even when you go for a job interview, you won't go with, I've got to get this, and if I don't get this, there won't be anything else for me, and if I lose this chance. You won't feel like that. You will just feel, if this is the right job for me, I'm going to get this job, and if it's not, then I won't, and something else will come along. But you will know that within, and you will know it because you will just feel your self-worth, and you will know that when you go and give that interview, it will be the best interview it can be, and you can't do any better than that. And if you don't get it, there's a good reason for it. I mean, back in the day when I really wanted a job at a publishing company in Bath, because it was a really trendy company to work for, I had no qualifications whatsoever. I don't even know how I got an interview, to be honest, but I did. And I didn't get that job. I was really gutted when I came away, but I totally accepted it, and I just thought, okay, I'm just not right for that particular job. I'm just not right for it, fair enough. And I just let it go. And a few days later, the woman that ran the department rang me at home and said, okay, yeah, you didn't get that job because there was somebody with a lot more experience and you didn't have that experience, but we really liked you, and somebody's going on maternity leave, and would you be up for 6 months and seeing what happens? And she said, you'll probably get a job here at the end of the 6 months anyway, because people are leaving all of the time. There's other jobs that come up within the company. It's whether you want to take that risk and leave your permanent job at the moment. And I just said, yep. I just went for it, because I was 23. I didn't care about security or anything like that. I just took it, and I was absolutely thrilled. And I know now, looking back, that I got it because I didn't, back then, I suppose I wouldn't say I was a confident person back then, but I did have fairly good self-worth back then. And I just decided that I just wasn't the right person for them in that department, but that maybe another job would come up. I did not go on and on about how awful it was that I didn't get it and feel gutted and feel like, oh, now I'm stuck where I am. I didn't feel anything like that. I just knew that something would come along and I would get something that suited me. And look, I ended up getting that, and I was there for 4 years, and I moved around the company, had several jobs when I was there, and I just loved working there. It was a great opportunity for me, which I jumped at. So don't be scared of opportunities either. I know I am really I'm going off the point here now, but don't be scared of opportunities when they come along. If you think that, well, it's not exactly what I wanted, but it could be really awesome. If you just throw yourself into these things thinking it could be really awesome, then your vibe will go with that, and then it will be really awesome. I mean, I must admit, I've always been that kind of person that likes to throw myself into things like that. I'm a risk taker, I guess you would say, and I've always been a little bit like that. I've never been particularly careful. And the key thing to remember is as soon as you have desired something, it's there, you've created it, you don't need to reach for it. As soon as you start reaching for it and putting it outside of you and deciding that it's more important than you, it's the most important thing to you, it starts moving further and further away. When it's inside of you already, you don't need to try. All you need to do is allow it to happen at the best possible time for you. And by improving your self-concept and thinking, look, I want to manifest a good self-concept. That is your intention. I want to manifest great self-concept. Now, like I said, when I was younger, I did have that. So I have had it at some point. I did go through a really bad patch of not having it, and it all just going, I don't know what happened, but I was not myself. But now I'm better than I was even back in my early 20s when I did have a good self-concept, because I had other issues that I wasn't confident and stuff like that. And now I've got all of that. I've just got everything that I could have wanted. The sort of person that I would have loved to have been, I now feel that I am. And you can do that, and you can feel good about yourself, have a great self-concept, but still be a decent person and still care about other people and do things for other people. You can have all of that. It doesn't mean that you become selfish and you just think about yourself all of the time. But what happens is you put your needs first, and if something is not good for you, you decide that you're not going to do it because your needs come first. And if a relationship is not right for you at the moment, you put it to one side and you work on yourself, and you think, when I feel better in myself, I might go back and revisit that. I might not, because I might not want to when I feel better about myself, but I am going to make this about me and not about that other person. It's like you're draining yourself of power, or you're being drained of the power that you have. There are many different ways that I could put this, and people can enhance our lives, and people should enhance our lives. The people in our life should enhance it, but they should not be held responsible for our happy. Our happy is about us, and when we can do that, yes, we will still want things and we will still want people in our lives, but we will be okay without them. Absolutely okay. And other people will then appear in our lives. Great people, other new great people will appear in our lives as if by magic, and we will not have the need for that one particular person. Because again, when you have the need for that one particular person, and yes, and people might shout at me, and people have shouted at me, you can affirm and get people into your life. Don't say that you can't do that. I know you can do it. Yes, you can do it. You can affirm for things, but when it happens, it's when you're released slightly, when it actually shows in your life. But the thing is, yes, you've affirmed for it, and then you've got it, and you're so relieved that you've got it for 5 minutes, and then you start worrying it's going to go again because you've done nothing. You've done no inner work whatsoever. So it's pretty unsustainable in the majority of cases. And I know that from the people that I've spoken to, the people I coach that have had issues in the past that haven't looked at their self-concept, have only tried affirming and all of that stuff and have snippets of great things, and then it's gone again. And every single person that I've spoken to in that regard that have come to me because they've seen a better way, or they feel that this is a better way for them overall, have told me this. And I've affirmed for things and got them in the past, but they've not sustained, and I want things to sustain in my life, and I don't want to have to try for anything. And I do that by feeling good inside. And what can be better than feeling good inside? What can be better than feeling free? Nothing is better than that, is it? People will be drawn to you. Honestly, people will appear in your life, will come back to you that you haven't spoken to for years and years, will appear in your life, will reach out to you. You'll have great opportunities. Life will start flowing better. You will have your ups and downs still, of course you will, because that is what life is like. I can't explain all of this completely. You will have ups and downs, but they will not be so sharp. You will be more in the flow of life, and when these things happen, the down moments, you will handle them so much better than you would have handled them before, and they will not get to you as much. They will not drag you down. You will be able to cope. And that's what it's about, isn't it? Getting through life in the best possible way, being the best versions of ourselves, and being able to move forward with this without it taking over our lives, without it being I must manifest this, I must manifest that. Just knowing that manifestation is not a trying process. It's not. Things manifest into our lives without us trying all of the time, absolutely all of the time. I mean, I could write a book on the things that I've manifested that I haven't tried to manifest. So, and you probably could too if you actually sit down and think about it. The best things come and the easiest things come when we are not trying. So if we can improve our self-concept, all of that other stuff will just happen naturally to the point where you'll think, did I even manifest that? Would it have happened anyway? I say that a lot, I know, but it's true. Okay, so if you don't know anything about me, then I'm an author. My books are listed below. I'm also a coach, so manifestation and self-concept coach. And you can book that by emailing me. At the moment, I'm about 5 weeks booked up in advance. I sell subliminals on my website. There's 4 on there at the moment, but that will just grow and grow. Over time, there'll be loads more on there. You buy them and then you download them immediately, so you don't have to wait for those. I also offer personalised subliminals, but you need to fill a form in first, and that is obviously the price is higher for that because it's a lot more work for me. But if you're interested in those, then just contact me and I will send you a form and give you the details then, and then you can get that back to me, and I will set you a recording date. And I think that's about it. I think I'm done. I think I've waffled enough for one day. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't subscribed to this channel and you find this useful, or you think that my content might be useful to you, then I'd love for you to do that.